Hey guys, this is Marina and you're watching your monthly forecast for Gemini for the period between the 20th of March and the 19th of April. Basically, this is the time when we have the transit sun in Aries. So during the whole period, the transit sun is in Aries, and for you it will be in your 11th house. So this is a great time for some kind of social activities. You may notice that you want to do a lot of things with other people. You can feel really inspired, and all kind of social activities, all kind of projects, including other people, are very favorable during this time. And because we have the sun in Aries, which is usually related with our personal actions, our personal initiatives, you might be the one who can coordinate other people. You might be the one who will attract other people and like define some kind of mutual goal for all of you. So for people who are working in things like social media or politics or everything which includes lots of people, especially in a way that you are affecting also the life of many people. Actually, for you this transit is great. You may feel really inspired and you may feel like this is the time to fight for your causes, to take the steps that actually will help you to achieve your goals. And keep in mind that this is a time when you should try to be really a team player. Aries is a sign when we have the sun, where we have the sun, is related with being initiative and trying to be to do everything on your own. But because the sun is in your 11th house in your horoscope, it suggests that you shouldn't try to be so independent, but instead try to attract the support of other people. Try to find their help or to find a way to attract their ideas, to have a mutual goal together with them, not only to focus more on the things that you want to do for yourself, but more things that are related for society and people around you. And on the 27th, we have also a new moon in Aries, which is again in your 11th house. And the new moons are actually great time for all kind of new beginnings. This is really a very beneficial time when you can be really inspired to do something, to follow a dream, which is also related with 11th house, to spend a lot of time with your friends, to have some kind of goal and project together with your friends. And we have also a lot of many planets in Aries, including the Sun and the Moon, but also Uranus, the Venus and Mercury right now are in Aries, which is really a lot of fire cardinal energy. And this is related with a lot of very strong impulses to take some steps, to start new things. And the new moon intensifies that even more. So that's a great time to start something, to take some steps, and to take some kind of risks in this time. But as I said, try to find a way to do your to achieve your plans with other people, to ask their support, to ask their help. So after that, on the 21st, we have Mercury moving to Taurus and your 12th house. So Mercury in 12th house can be related with the desire to, not to communicate so much with others in a way, like a daily communication. The communication related with Mercury is more like, chatting, phone calls, emails. And 12th house is the house related with having a rest, with more spiritual things, not so grounded, not so practical things. So you may feel the desire, to take a rest from all of this noise around you, not to communicate so much with others, to take your rest especially, mentally and intellectually, which is related with Mercury. Also, it would be a great time to analyze your past, to think about the past, and to find some kind of, decisions, but that are coming more from, like something like an inspiration, more to trust your intuition, which is 12th house, and not to share your ideas immediately with others, because 12th house is the house of secrets. So this is a time when you should try to keep your thoughts, your ideas more for yourself. So after that, on the 3rd, we have the transit Venus, which is retrograde, going back to Pisces. And for you, it will be in your 10th house. So this is a time when you should be more careful regarding everything which includes your career, your social reputation, your communication with authority figures, because Venus is the planet of harmony, the planet of smooth communication, but emotional communication. Also, the planet related with finding balance and finding, compromises. And when Venus is retrograde, all of these things are challenged in our lives. And for you, it's related with the area of career. So be prepared that it may not be so easy to make compromises in your career, or in communication with authority figures, especially with female authority figures, because Venus is traditionally associated with women. So you should be careful. For example, if your boss is a woman, now your communication might be challenged. You may need, to make a compromise with yourself in order to keep the balance in this area, in this relationship with this person. The positive side is that you can think about an old project related with your career, which for some reason you have postponed, or haven't worked for you, or you have forgotten about it. Now things can be like restarted. You may remember that, you may find the solution that have missed you, or the information, or something like that. So everything which is more related with your past can be favorable, can be beneficial for you, and you should try to avoid the new projects and the new beginnings in this area of your life. So it's not a time for new career projects for this a few days when Venus will be in Pisces in your 10th house. So you should be careful regarding this area. So after that, on the 5th, we have the transit Saturn turning retrograde in Sagittarius, which for you is in your 7th house. Saturn and transits of Saturn are usually related with more responsibilities, with the need to feel stability in this area of your life, to, you're searching for some kind of security, for some kind of guarantees that things are stable, long-lasting. And in this case, it affects the area of your relationship, especially close relationships with others, your romantic relationship, or even your marriage is possible. So the time when Saturn is changing its direction, around a few days around this time, the planet is stationary, which means that the energy is really focused and intense, and that can lead to some kind of possible challenges in this area, because sometimes Saturn can bring some kind of tests for us. It can test you how responsible you can be in your relationship, how supportive you can be for your partner. And generally this is a time when you should be really try to be very strict, try to be very to do the right things, because Saturn is related with doing things in the right way, not trying to cheat something, or not lying. Saturn is the planet of justice. So right now you need to be really really accurate in your relationships with others. And generally this can be a time, these few days when Saturn is changing its direction, this can be a time when there might be more responsibilities waiting for you. After that, on the 9th, we have the transit Mercury turning retrograde in Taurus, which for you will be in your 12th house. As we know, Mercury is the ruler of your sign, Gemini, which means that these phases of Mercury are really important for you. They're affecting you more than other people. So generally you should be very careful with everything that includes information, with everything that includes signing contracts, communicating with people, all kind of messages, social medias and stuff like that. You should be more careful in this area. And because the transit Mercury is in your 12th house, it's possible that there might be, for example, some kind of secrets. They can be even revealed when Mercury is retrograde. For example, you can reveal a secret from your past, or it is possible that in some way you may think a lot about the past, or people that you have been communicating previously may come back in your life. So everything which includes past things, past activities, projects and so on can be beneficial, and starting something new should be avoided during this time, especially for you, because Mercury is the ruler of your own sign. And 12th house is also related with emigration. So if that's something which you are planning, you should be careful with some kind of document issues, some kind of information. Things may not be so smooth. They may require more time than you have expected. And after that, on the 11th, we have a full moon in Libra and Aries, which for you will fall in your 11th and 5th house. The full moons are a great time to separate with something. This can be like a culmination in certain area of your life, when you can achieve some kind of visible results, or you can realize something. Something becomes visible. That's very typical for the full moon. It can be literally something you're doing, or just an idea. You might become more conscious. You may realize something. And in this case, first of all, it can include some kind of relationships, because the axis Aries Libra is generally related with that. But also in your case, with some kind of social activities. It can be related with your romantic affairs, for example, which is 5th house. So this can be a time when, for example, also you may need to find the balance between 5th house and 11th house, which means for example, your love life and your friendships. Or you can separate with something like a friendship which has turned out to be not what you're expecting, some kind of disappointment. You may decide to leave that in your past, or even with a love affair that hasn't turned out to be something healthy, something beneficial for you. Now is the time to leave that in the past, to realize it, to become conscious, to admit the situation for you in your life, and just to allow it to leave your life, because that's the best thing you can do during the full moon. And finally, on the 14th, we have the transit Venus turning direct in Pisces in your 10th house. So generally this can bring some kind of improvement in the area of your career. If in the past few days, when we said that Venus is in the retrograde, Venus has been in your 10th house, if there were some kind of difficulties in your communication with authority figures, with your career projects, with some kind of projects including females. So now the things might become smoother for you. Some situations might be solved, especially related with your work and career. it might be easier for you to find the balance, to feel again harmony in your work environment, in your communication with managers, bosses, and all kind of authority figures. And generally also it can affect your 11th house, because most of the time Venus was retrograde in Aries in your 11th house, which means that the area of your social activities, social goals, things including other people, friendships, and so on, they all can become more harmonized and more fluent and more positive generally. And your emotional experiences may come back to balance. If previously you have been going through some kind of ups and downs in these areas of your life, things might they can go back to normal actually. So these were the most important transits and indications for this period. Thank you very much for watching, and see you around.